Hey Masters, if you know me and you've been listening to my podcast, you know health and nutrition is number one. Check out AdvoCare products. I am a distributor. Go to livelongersmarter.com. We got everything you could imagine for your health and nutrition goals. If you're interested, at the end of the podcast, at the very end, there'll be more information on the products. Also, LandVoice is one of our sponsors. They have amazing services. If you need leads, please check out LandVoice for FSBO, expired, circle prospecting, a dialer, whatever you need. Go to davidihill.com. Affiliates, you can click the LandVoice link and all of the special opportunities will be there.
Get ready for one more sale, inspiring you with ideas through powerful and engaging interviews with top performers of their field. Now, join us as we discuss techniques and strategies of the coolest and most successful people on the planet.
You just have to be willing to go down a long, dark road of maybe no money just to build a business. Sometimes building a business takes sacrifice. You really got to study scripts. You got to find scripts that are proven and just study them and study them and study them in your car and read them every morning. When I got good, I stopped because I thought, I'm so good now, I can talk flawlessly. And then all of a sudden you find out that it doesn't last. You know, it's like if you stop working out.
Hey Masters, welcome to another episode of Path to Mastery, number 52, my friends. And this week we have we have David Martiroso with us. Art is his business partner and brother. And listen, these guys are phenomenal at converting for sale by owners and expireds. But David especially works with a lot of for sale by owners, and he's going to spend some time with us today and bring us through the whole process, man. I mean, from the first initial contact, like as soon as they put their house on the market, all the way through the process of contacting them every couple weeks and then being there when they're ready to make the decision, you know, a month later or 2 months later, and then finally closing the deal. And he brings us through the whole process. It's a great interview. You know, and what I was thinking about after the fact is, listen, this process would work with any seller. It doesn't matter if they're a FSBO or somebody in your database that's thinking about selling. It's going to work because you're staying in contact and you're staying top of mind. So great interview. It's got some great nuggets, and we do some live role play, and I'm not easy on this guy. So it's really good interview. I would encourage you to listen to it and share it with anybody that's interested in taking their listing business to the next level. Real quick, I just want to put out too, hey, I have a real estate business. I have a real estate team. Would love the opportunity to work with your referrals. Guys, we cover central Massachusetts. So if you look at the state of Massachusetts, anything like Worcester County, Westboro, Massachusetts, love to work with any of your referrals, and we'll do a great job for you. I'll give you a 26% referral, and your client will be happy. That's going to be the real key. And the other thing is, I'm reading a really great book right now, and I know I'm going all over the place with this. It's Tony Robbins' new book called Unshakable, and I'm actually listening to it on Audible, and it's just phenomenal. Unshakable. So if you want to get a free copy of Tony's book, Unshakable, just go to davidsfreebook.com. Again, davidsfreebook.com. Sign up, get yourself a free copy of Tony Robbins' book, Unshakable. Guys, hey, listen, Dave Martiroso today, killing it with FSBOs. Enjoy. Hey Masters, I'm here again for another episode, another step on your path to sales mastery. And I'm with my friend today, Dave Martiroso, out of the Boston area. Is it Boston, Dave?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, you're outside. You're not downtown Boston, right? You're like on the outskirts, or are you downtown Boston?
We're in Andover, which is about 20 minutes from Boston. We started our business in Boston, and the company that we're with, Keller Williams, that's how we ended up a little further outside the city.
Gotcha.
We just like the company, you know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we grew up in the city, so.
All right, so you guys are city boys. You and your brother Art.
City boys, through and through.
Nice, good stuff. And I know it. So And I say that just because if people have referrals, you know what I mean? It's funny. I get referrals all the time. People like call me up and say, oh, I know someone selling in Boston. And I'm like, 35 miles from Boston. So I don't really do Boston. You know what I mean? I mean, it's nice people think of me for referrals, from Massachusetts, but we only kind of cover, central Mass. So
yeah, we do Boston and Greater Boston would be all of our areas.
Okay, awesome. So, David, it's you yourself, and you have your brother Art, who is also an awesome friend of mine too. And you guys have the DNA Realty Group, and you guys are just outside of Boston. What prompted this call is, man, you have a video on YouTube. I was watching. It's like 63,000 views of you calling a for sale by owner, man. And I started my business on for sale by owners.
Yep, I know that. Well, I learned a lot from you, so I do know that.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. But yet my video doesn't have 63,000 views yet, so that's good.
Well, maybe I'm just better looking,
That could be the case. That definitely could be the case. All right, good. So spend some time with us today. I want to talk to you guys. I know you guys are closing about 35 units a year. You have a higher price point, around 350. Goal this year, I know, is much higher for 75 units. So you're in the process now of building a team. So those are all great things. Now, is FSBO's part of that plan?
Yeah. When we first started out in the business, we didn't know, we didn't have friends or family that could afford to buy. So what we did was cold call, FSBO's has been a part of our business since we started in real estate.
Yeah, and obviously they're the people that they have their hands up and they're ready to sell. The challenge I've seen with a lot of them is most of the times they're just not realistic. I mean, are you seeing the same thing? Like they want more money and they don't want to pay commission?
Yeah, most of the time they don't want to pay a commission. I think once they realize the amount of work that it goes into selling a house, then at that point, if you're a good agent, I think they're more than willing to pay. But yeah, in the beginning, I think they have this mindset of, I can do it myself, and why would I pay somebody $20,000, $30,000 to do this?
So you said once they realize how much work it is, then they'll potentially hire you or putting words in your mouth, but they'll realize you're a good agent. And how do you get to that point? Let's walk through those steps. So, like the first, it's like the initial call, right?
Yeah, I think that all sales are big in my mind. This is just how I think about them personally over time of doing it is, we used to, do this thing where it's like one shot, one kill. We try to go and we try to get the deal right now the first time I talk to the person, the first 20 seconds I talk to them. And then over time, I realized that we got a much better result if I kind of flowed with the people, and kind of give them a little assurance that, hey, we're here to help if you want to try it on your own. But when you can't do it on your own, I'll be here, and I think we ended up getting more like that. So initially I got really good at closing everyone on the first phone call. And then after that, I just realized the value of, just taking a little bit slower and having more people go through the process.
Got it. So, what I think would be awesome, and this is something I have not done in the past, is let's kind of take people through, we'll use this next 20 minutes or so to take people through like the whole process, you know what I mean, of day one, right? They hit the market. I mean, typically, is it still the same, Dave? I mean, are they waiting, 30 to 45 days before they list, or has it gotten longer than that?
I think when we first got into the market, I was able to list them really quickly. With the shortage of inventory, I think they got more confidence. Like for instance, in Massachusetts right now, there's 30,000 single families that sold in the last 6 months. And right now, there's only like 9,500 for sale in the MLS. There's a shortage of inventory, which gives them confidence. So I think now it's about a month and a half to 2 months, in some cases 3 months, especially around now where it's waiting for the spring.
So they're going to try 2 to 3 months, and then they're just going to get frustrated and say, forget about this.
Yeah, I'd say 2 months is about the average, yeah.
Got it. So it's similar. I mean, I started calling, day one, my story. I mean, first day in real estate, they had me, going through the yellow pages, and not the yellow pages, the newspaper, the Telegram and Gazette, and calling them. So it was 30 to maybe 60 days. That's what they would go. So let's talk again, price. I mean, typically it's price, right? I mean, especially in this market, like you said, inventories. I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody told me recently that the inventory right now in Massachusetts is the lowest it's been in 20 years. Had you heard that?
I would believe it. I've been in business for 7 years, and certainly the lowest I've ever seen it.
I'll tell you, I'm the lowest inventory. We're carrying like 12 listings right now. I mean, we usually carry 25 to 30. So we're certainly seeing it too. All right, so let's talk about this process now. So here I am. I'm a FSBO. Day one, my house goes on the market. What happens? What do you do?
So you're going to get a call from me, and it's going to go something like this. Hey,
all right, so let's do this role play. I'm the FSBO.
Yep. Hey, how are you? This is Dave, DNA Realty Group. Did I get you at a good time?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little busy, but what's going on?
Well, I understand that. I just wanted to give you a call because I'm a realtor, and I noticed that you had your house for sale by owner. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. It is for sale by owner. Right now, we're just trying to sell it ourselves.
Great. So this part of the call, I would gauge their willingness to cooperate with agents in any way, shape, or form.
Got it. So let's just pretend I'm a real FSBO. Let's do it.
Yep. Dave, I just wanted to know, while you are selling it for sale by owner, if an agent brought you a buyer that would give you an offer that you like, would you pay a 3% buyer agent commission?
Yeah, I think right now I don't really want to pay a commission. I want to see if I can sell it. I think that's probably the goal right now. But, if it doesn't sell in, a couple of weeks, I may be open to 3%.
All right, great. And if for some reason you don't sell the house on your own, do you have a friend in the business that you would go with, or are you planning on hiring realtors in the future?
I love that question. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I know a few realtors. I've had a lot of realtors call me. But, no, I'm not really committed to anybody, if that's what you're asking. All
right, great. Well, the only reason I ask is if for some reason you do get to a point where you're going to interview agents to sell your house, I'd love to apply for the job to sell it and show you how we sell houses. Would that be all right?
Yeah, I mean, if we go there, yep, absolutely. I'm open.
Yep. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is, since you are willing to pay a commission, I'm going to tell my buyer team about it. If we come across a bona fide match, I'm going to give you a call, and I'd be happy to take the 3%. But in the event that you don't sell it, I'm going to follow up with you anyway. And if we can help you, I certainly would like the opportunity. Is that all right?
Yeah, but like I said, I want to try it for a couple of weeks myself before I'm willing to pay any commissions. I want to see if I can sell. I mean, if I can sell it, I don't want to pay anything,
I understand that. Yeah, if you can sell it, you should definitely do it all on your own, But if for some reason you can't, you're going to need a backup plan, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
All right, great. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll tell my buyer team about it, and if we come across a match, I'll give you a call. And what I'll do in the meantime is just send you a note with my information, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay?
All right, that sounds good. I appreciate it. All right, cool. So, I mean, you did a good job. I like how you asked me about the realtor, because then it kind of frames that, in the future, if there's somebody that they're committed to, or you can also set it up such that, they'll at least hire you. You didn't ask me about motivation, though. Was that intentional, or?
I usually like to build trust on the call for the first one, and then afterwards, if I call them and they haven't sold it in 2 weeks, then I'll start hitting them with the hard stuff.
Got it. Okay.
Usually, I just think that it just works better for me that way, because FSBOs, they think they know it all, so it's a delicate thing,
Yeah, true. And I like the backup plan too. I think that's good, asking if they have a backup plan. Okay, so now what's next? I mean, you didn't get the email address. So how are you going to send me anything?
Usually, if I'm in front of my computer and I do have their email address, I'll have it, and then I know I do. I'll confirm it. Sometimes, if they're like, send me an email, I'll get their email address. If not, what I usually do is I'll send everybody a personal note. Like, so you're paying out a commission, you're willing to hire an agent, and there's a chance that you're willing to hire me. At this point, I'm going to send you a personal note with my card in it that says if for some reason you would like to contact me before 3 weeks or 2 weeks, here's my information. And then I would follow up with them after that.
Oh, I like it. So you're actually sending a personal handwritten note to each one.
Yeah, I used to not do that when we didn't have money to do so. But now our business has money for stamps and notes, so I do. and it works. It does work a lot better.
Man, you guys are moving on up, baby, with that 45 cents for a stamp. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It took time to get here. We used to argue that we couldn't afford stamps, but now we just, send notes every time.
All right, good. So you're sending them something. Our approach is a bit different than that, right? I mean, so I want to get their email address. I want to at least send them something. I'm not going to blast them and keep sending them stuff, but we'll send them something out. Now, do you guys, not saying my approach is better than yours or yours is better, it's just different approaches, right? But now, do you go preview the house at all, or what does that look like?
I usually don't. I actually won't go to the house unless I'm going to list.
Unless you think you're going to list.
You figure if I drive, we cover a big territory, so if I drive a half hour there or a half hour back, that's an hour. I could have spent that hour calling and looking for a better deal. Unless I'm going for a listing appointment, I don't go to preview things unless I was bored.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm on the same page as you with that. Like for me, it's like I can find a better use of my time. But what about the people that say, well, by going and meeting them, you're building some rapport and some trust? I mean, does that have credibility?
I've had enough experience where I don't think that matters. And if that's the type of person I'm going to see, then I'm willing to lose that business. I think it's few and far between.
Okay, got it. All right, so you've sent me a card. I get your index card or your postcard. Index card. You guys send out index card? All right.
No, personal note. I write it. My nice writing.
Awesome. Good stuff. And I'm sure you have awesome penmanship. So I get your card now. Now, when are you calling me back?
Depends on, I usually ask how long are you going to try to sell on your own before you decide to interview agents. And let them give me a time, and I'll usually cut that time in half. What I found works for me is to check in every 3 weeks, because 3 weeks is long enough that something changes.
Wow, 3 weeks. That seems like a long time.
Yeah, in the beginning, I usually do 3 weeks. I'll follow up 3 weeks later, and usually I found when I called them 1 week later and then week again, they started telling me that you're calling me too much. And then I'd let a month go by. And then when I called them 2 weeks, they weren't ready. So 3 weeks is just my own thing. It just seems to work for me.
I like to check in just like, hey, did you get my stuff? How are things going? Just to kind of see. But I agree. I don't think it makes that much of a difference because usually they're still going to take me 60 days to list them. So maybe it's just a waste of a phone call. I don't know. But all right, so 3 weeks now, what happens next?
So in 3 weeks, you get a call from me. Hey, Dave, how are you? This is Dave, DNA Realty Group. I just wanted to give you a call and see if you got a chance to sell your house.
No, not yet, man. It's thanks for calling back. It's still available.
Yeah, I understand. It's a lot of work selling them. I wanted to see, did you get any offers on it?
We had one offer really, really low.
Great. Well, how did you come up with your price?
Well, I mean, that's, we went on Zillow and we had a couple agents had come out beforehand and kind of gave us the price they thought. So we figured that would be a good price.
I understand that. Well, there's no obligation to you, but obviously you tried selling it on your own for a few weeks now. If I could show you a way that I could actually sell it for you, net you what you need, even with paying a commission, would you be interested in something like that?
Well, we still don't really want to pay a commission. I mean, that's our that's why we're trying to sell it ourselves. We just don't. I mean, honestly, we don't have a lot of equity in the house.
Yep, I understand that. Usually in the past, what I found is, and if it doesn't work, I'll be upfront with you, but I'd like to meet with you for 15 minutes. What I found in the past is I've been able to get sellers the money they wanted to get, and even after paying a commission, with me handling all the work. If we actually could do that for you, I mean, why would you not do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see how would you get me the same money? Because I mean, I'm asking $295 for the house. So if I have to give you, 3%, then that's going to take out of my $295, right?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be 3%. When's a good time for me to come out and meet with you so we could go over everything? And there's no obligation to you, but I'd like to show you exactly how my plan is to sell your home. Is Saturday at 12 okay for you? Well,
I mean, you sound like a good guy. I've had a lot of realtors calling me, bugging me. I'm gonna probably wait another, maybe if it doesn't sell, probably in like 2 to 3 weeks, then maybe we could talk about that.
You want to wait another 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think, I've had some calls, we've had a lot of drive-bys, the open house we had last weekend, we had a bunch of people come. We're still waiting to hear back on a few of them.
I understand. Now, if you sell this house, are you planning to buy another home locally?
No, we're actually moving down to, we have a place out in Florida in Boca.
Oh, in Boca Raton. So when did you want to be in Florida?
When did we want? We wanted to be there,
3 weeks ago?
Yeah, exactly. Well, a month and a half ago, yeah. But that didn't happen. So, that's why right now, it's February. So we're probably going to just, wait it out and plan on going there, hopefully in summer. But if not, we'll go in the fall.
I understand that. You have a great opportunity to really capitalize on the market right now. And if you just wait until spring and more houses come on, well, some of these buyers that are willing to pay your price now may want to give you less money in the spring. That's why I wanted to come out and meet with you. There's no obligation to you, but if you realize we could sell it now, maybe have you in Boca Raton in about 30 to 40 days, would that pose a problem for you?
In Boca in 30 to 40 days?
Yeah.
No. How would you do that?
Well, let's meet, and I'll show you exactly what my plan is, and then you can judge for yourself if it's the right thing for you, okay?
All right, yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to make any promises, but if you want to stop by, that's fine.
I understand that. I'm not going to make any promises either. When is a good time for me to come out and sit down with you?
Usually Saturdays work best for us, so if you want to come by on Saturday, my wife will be home as well.
Okay, Saturday at noon, okay?
Yep, that's perfect.
All right, great. I'll see you on Saturday.
All right, awesome. All right, so very natural. You got your real natural, just conversational tone, flow to you, so that I can see that working. No obligation. I think you'd said a couple times, or there's no commitment. Yeah. So that is that typically how it goes for you after a couple weeks?
That's typically how it goes. Usually, like on this particular one, I pushed a little for the sake of the call. Usually, if they give me a lot of pushback after I ask them a couple questions and figure out their motivation, I'll give them another week to 2 weeks to try it, and that gets me to about a month and a half. And at that point, they're usually ready to go, as long as I've called them, consistently.
Okay, so a couple questions. And I'm gonna be take a different road right here. So, what about the guy like me that's calling them, every week? And do you sometimes lose listings to those people that just keep on them, grinding? Like you're waiting 2-3 weeks to call. This guy's calling every week.
Yep.
Does that happen? Or
obviously in this business, I have people that I've called 1 week too late and somebody else listed them.
Yeah.
But I've also had people that I've listed that somebody else has been called, and I just accept that as just a part of the business.
So you can't win them all is the point. Yeah, I guess that's totally my question, just because I know, I've done the same thing, Dave, and I felt like, oh man, if I would have just pushed a little bit harder, I probably could have got that one.
I used to get really, really frustrated with what you just said, doing it that way, but I know what works for me, and I do that. What works for somebody else might not work for me. I have tried it all. I have called FSBOs every week. I call them like 3 times. I call them all the time, So this system
so it's kind of
is just something that flows for the way I do it,
Yeah, it seems like it's low pressure, just kind of, hey, I'm here to help. What can I, so I like that. I like that.
You are listening to One More Sale.
Good approach. So now we're at 3 weeks out, almost 4 weeks. You show up at my house. What's going on? What are you showing up with, and what are you doing?
I show up at your house. I show you my listing presentation, and then we kind of make a decision. Usually,
is it like a special presentation that's geared towards FSBOs, or is it's just a regular one?
Nope. It's just the same presentations I give to everyone. In the beginning, we did no PowerPoint, then we did PowerPoint, and now we have both, no PowerPoint and PowerPoint. Depends on how I feel or what I want to do or how much time I have. I'll pick one of those two. So,
got it. Okay.
But it's usually the same. We don't have one geared towards FSBOs. All
right. So I'm the FSBO. I like your PowerPoint. I like everything you say. So now, I was trying to ask $295. So what I want to do now is, okay, so that we can, make sure we cover the fee. I want to put my house on the market for $325. How do you deal with that?
For 325.
Well, yeah, because obviously if I'm with a realtor, I got to pay more,
Assuming
right?
I can't. Well, we'll just say the true price is probably 295.
Well, in reality, it's probably 270, right, or 260. But for the purposes of this role play, yes, we'll say it's 295. But with a real FSBO, if they're asking 295, a lot of times they're probably 10% over, right? Is that about the average?
Yeah. So usually, if we're way too far apart, I won't take the listing. If they're about $15,000 above where I need them to be, I'll take it. So if I got that guy to 310, I would take it. If he like I'm thinking in my area, if somebody wants 295, it's pretty damn close to 295. So
yeah,
if it's I won't go too much. I used to take overpriced listing, but then what happens is they'll never sell and they expire, and it's just a waste of energy.
Oh yeah.
So I know my prices pretty well. So if I went on a 3-family in Boston. The lady wanted $950 as a FSBO. I listed it for $875, but realistically, that house was $850. So.
$950 for a 3-family. Holy cow! We sell 3 families for like $325. That's awesome. I need to move to Boston, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy over here.
All right, so let's talk about. So you list this house. You listed at 310. You get a buyer comes in. You sold the house. Great, awesome, good job. So what do you want to say to our listeners now about like for sale by owners? What's the one thing that people should know if they're gonna start working on for sale by owners?
I just think if you're gonna make a business out of it, you just make a business out of it. You're gonna have times when you can't figure it out and it just takes a little more work. You're going to have times of the year or times of the business where it's just going to be super easy. But if that's something you're going to do, then you just do it all the way, and you just don't stop. If a part of your business is going after for sale by owners, well, that's a part of your business. So you always figure out what works for you and do that,
Sounds like listening to you, it seems like you would have to be patient. I don't know how I did it in the beginning because I have no patience, but I grinded them down, to be honest with you. I think, but
right, you could do it both ways,
Yeah, so it sounds like your approach is more like patient, getting a conversation and wait. So somebody that's listening to this now, they've never called a FSBO in their life. They're like terrified. Everybody thinks FSBOs hate realtors. And well, as a matter of fact, why do most people sell houses themselves? Like, why, in your opinion?
Why do people sell houses themselves?
Yeah, like why? Yeah, why do most people say, well, because it's only 10% of the market, but why do people choose to try to sell themselves instead of using a professional?
I think just obviously saving the commission, but I also think as an industry, I work with a lot of different realtors and I do trainings and different things like that. I just think that most realtors that come to the seller's door, they don't see value in the real estate community. So they think they're better off doing it on their own.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think that's the key right there. If they don't see the value, then yeah, obviously they're not going to use it. They're not going to use a real estate agent. They have to see the value. What would you say, and I know I've probably assumed a lot of things about why you're successful with FSBOs, but what would you say, in your opinion, makes you successful with FSBOs?
I think over time, I just become really confident with them, and I've become really decisive on how I'm going to run the business and how I'm going to call FSBOs. There's a lot of different systems and a lot of different techniques, and all of them work. I truly believe all of them work. I just figured out what works for me, and I stuck to it, and I stayed really headstrong when people gave me their opinions. I just stuck to what I know, and how it's worked out for me. I think that one thing probably really helped me secure my business, because now I come to it with a sense that you're getting me. You're not just getting a realtor,
Yeah. So what's next? Like, I know your goal is 75, so that's pretty much doubling your volume. So what's next for you guys when it comes to FSBOs?
Yep. So I'm doing this now. For instance, today I called for 5 hours because right now that's just what it's taken. The past 2 days prior, I called for 4 hours, so I just think I mastered this until we put somebody in a position to replace me. And then obviously over the last year, we've been growing our team and we hired and fired a lot of people. And it's been, growing pains. But what I realized is the baseline of our business is cold calling, lead generation on the phone. So somebody always has to do that. So I decided to do that, master it. I'm really good at it already, but you can always get improved. And I just decided to stick with that. And then obviously the goal is to hire a whole team to replace myself, replace my brother, so we can move on to growing a bigger business.
Love it. So what's the biggest challenge now that agents are going to face when they start calling these FSBOs?
The biggest challenge they're going to face is it's a lot of legwork and not a lot of return up front. It takes time and it's a grind. Gary Keller, the owner of Keller Williams, I watched a couple of videos where he said in the beginning of his career, he called people for 5 months and in 5 months closed nothing. And he had to go to his dad to borrow money to pay his rent. And then his dad said, well, what did you do for the past 5 months? And he brought him a whole book of leads, of all these people that he's to follow up with in the next 5 months. And then his business picked up. And I just think you just have to be willing to go down a long, dark road of maybe no money even, just to build a business. Sometimes building a business takes sacrifice, and a lot of sacrifice,
Yeah, well, we appreciate that from perspective of building a business. All right, awesome. So what's the one thing, my friend, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take from this interview today on their path to sales mastery?
I don't know that I mentioned this, but I would say you really got to study scripts. You got to find scripts that are proven and just study them and study them and study them in your car and read them every morning. It's just something I do. And then when I got good, I stopped because I thought I'm so good now. I can talk flawlessly. And then what happened was all of a sudden you find out that it doesn't last. It's like if you stop working out. So I just think as long as you're in the business, you have to keep studying.
So now, hold on. You just got me going now because here's the thing that I see. We study scripts. Everybody masters the same script. And then all of a sudden, FSBOs are getting calls and expireds by 10 agents all saying the same thing. They get frustrated and they don't want to talk to anybody. And it's so common now. So how do you get past that? Like, do you have different scripts?
I don't have different scripts, but, I come to it with a mindset of, we're all human beings. And if most of these people met me face-to-face in a different setting, not me calling them on the phone, we'd probably get along quite fine, So when I call them, I make sure I'm polite and I make sure I talk well, And most agents, I think they kind of they'll call the people and they'll like puke on them and they don't care about what the person's saying. And I feel like I really pay attention to what is on the other line of that phone.
So you're fluid and you're listening. And I think that is going to be the key for you, my friend, is listening. I think you just nailed it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, I appreciate your time. I want to thank you. And awesome interview. I can't wait to go back and listen to it. Anything else you want to say to our listeners?
No, I just think real estate's an absolutely amazing business, and there's so much amazing opportunity. And I think that, I don't know who the listeners are, but anybody that wants to go down the path, if you don't stop, it pays out, and it pays out big, and it's a great life.
Awesome, my friend. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, Masters, you guys know how important health and nutrition is to me. I just want to talk to you a little bit about products I use called AdvoCare. I've been using these products for about 1.5 years now, mostly just for energy. They've got a really awesome drink. It's called Spark. If you want to check out anything, I would tell you, go check out the energy drink Spark. That's what I did for, like I said, almost 1.5 years without even trying any of their other products. And then this past January, a bunch of us, January 4th, decided we were going to do the 24-day challenge, which is a 10-day cleanse and then 14 days of just really healthy eating, vitamins, meal replacement, just awesome 24 days just to kind of get yourself on track and get into some right habits. So Richie Ryan did it with us. Guys, he lost, today's February 5th. I think he's at 24 pounds lost since January 4th. Melissa at our office lost 6 pounds. Min at our office lost 5 pounds. Guys, I mean, listen, it's amazing. Regardless, if your goal is losing weight, my goal wasn't losing weight. I did the challenge just so I could experience it. And, I lost a few pounds, but now I put some weight back on because I started using some of the supplements and the protein powder and all the other stuff. So now I've gained about 3 pounds of muscle and just feel awesome. My energy's through the roof. So whether you're looking for energy or you're looking for just wellness, they've got some amazing green products that I love taking before I go to bed. Or if you're looking for performance, athletic products, we've got the athletic performance products. And then just active, if you're an active adult, maybe getting a little older in the age and you want to just keep everything working the right way and functioning. Listen, Gary Keller said it best. If you don't take care of your body, where are you gonna live? And I just love that. So, hey, I just ask you to check out Advocare's products. I'm a distributor, so I'd love to help you, talk to you about your nutrition and health goals. You go to livelongersmarter.com, livelongersmarter.com.
You are listening to One More Sale with your host, David I. Hill, author of the Sales Playbook. Get your copy at www.thesalesplaybook.net.